Hey, what's up you guys, it's Connor, and today I'm going to be doing my April book haul. I think this is all the books that I will be getting this month, so I feel confident in going ahead and filming it now. I'm going to start off with the books that I bought myself, and then I'll be moving on to books that I got from publishers. So the first book that I bought myself is going to be Dragon Watch by Brandon Mull. This is the continuation of the original Fablehaven series, which follows two children, Seth and Kendra, after they find out that their grandparents are the caretakers of a magical menagerie. Then they get mixed up with all these magical creatures, and their journey ensues from there. This series is a direct sequel to that series, so I can't really talk about the plot of this without spoiling things that happen in the Fablehaven series, but I absolutely love Fablehaven, and I ended up absolutely loving this book. I've already read it, and I did a review of it. I'll leave that up in the card symbol when it's ready, but I don't think it'll be posted by the time this one gets posted. Keep an eye out for this. I then received two individual comic book issues from my brother. This is the double-sized 150th anniversary issue of Green Lantern, which I love Green Lantern. It's my favorite superhero, although not the movies, just the comic books, which I haven't read that many, but I just really like the concept of the Green Lantern, so he's my favorite. And then he also got me The Incredible Hulk issue 372. I have not read any Hulk comics, so now I have this one. I also picked up the Cinder Volume 2. This is issues 7 through 11. This is nominated for the BookTube SFF Awards in the Graphic Works section. It follows a boy named Tim 21 who has survived this mass killing, I guess, getting rid of AI systems, and then they find out that the Tim series of AI systems actually has something to do with these humongous robots that have attacked the human population. So now people are trying to figure out how Tim 21 is related to those things and how he can stop the robots from attacking the humans again. I really liked the first volume, so I went ahead and got the second one, and the illustrations in here are all very watercolor-like, and the coloring for each section is really well done as well, so I'm really hoping to get into this even more in the second volume. I also picked up Fool's Errand, which is the first book in the Tawny Man trilogy, which is the third trilogy in the Realm of the Elderling series by Robin Hobb. This one goes back to some of the characters from the first trilogy, the Farseer trilogy. And the Farseer trilogy wasn't my favorite, but I've heard that these books are a lot better than the Farseer books, so I'm hoping that I will like these better than those. But yeah, I don't really know anything about the plot, and I wouldn't be able to share it with you anyway because it would spoil the Farseer trilogy if you haven't read it yet. But I will be getting to this soon, and I got the right edition that I wanted, which is the American hardcover regular editions, not the book club editions, and it's just gonna be fantastic on my shelf and be a fantastic story when I read it. And the last book I actually bought for myself this month is going to be A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab, aka Victoria Schwab. This is the second book in the Shades of Magic series. I read the first book and I did a book review on that, so I'll leave that up in the card symbol if you want to check it out. This series follows a guy named Kel who is able to travel between parallel versions of London. There are 4 different Londons. There's Red London, which is where he's originally from and has the most magic. Then there's Grey London, which doesn't have hardly any magic. White London, which has some magic, but it's hard to get a hold of, and the magic really flees the people there. And then there's Black London, where the magic has taken over everything and destroyed everything. I doubt that everything has been destroyed, and I'm sure that's going to come up in the story at some point, but I am excited to read the second one. I wasn't overly impressed with the first one, so I'm hoping to get really into the story in this one because I didn't feel like I knew anything about the characters. Having read an entire book, I think we'll get more into the characters and learning about the characters, because this is pretty chunky, so she has enough time to really delve into those areas of this story, and I'll let you guys know what I think when I read it. This one was nominated for the BookTube SFF Awards adult novel, so I need to read it for the BookTube SFF Awards anyway. So I'll be doing that hopefully soon. For the first month of read-alongs, I read every single one, and this month I have not read any of them yet, except for the one I had already read from last year, so I gotta get on it. Moving on to the books that I was sent from publishers. I requested and was sent this book from William Morrow, which is an imprint of HarperCollins, and that is Will's Red Coat by Tom Ryan. I read Following Atticus, and I did a review on that, so I'll leave that up in the card symbol if you want to check it out. But it follows this news reporter who adopts a dog and names him Atticus, and then Tom and Atticus decide that they want to raise money for cancer, and they decide to hike the 48 peaks that are over 4,000 feet in New Hampshire twice in one winter, and it follows their journey and the problems that they face doing that, especially because Atticus is not a mountain dog, he's a little miniature schnauzer. Not this one, this is Will. Let me find Atticus. So this is Atticus, and it follows his journey with Atticus. This one is about Will, which is an older dog that he adopted. He got Atticus when Atticus was a puppy, and so it just follows his story with Will, and I'm excited to learn about it and see if my relationship with Nook has any similarities with his relationship with Will, because we definitely had some similarities to Atticus's story, so I'm really excited to get into this one. This one comes out on April 25th, so I will hopefully be having a review of this up around the time that it comes out. And on the back is a picture of Tom with Will. The pup is so cute. I also ended up receiving a finished copy of Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I've already done a book review of this, which I'll leave up in the card symbol and you can check it out, but I absolutely love this book so much. I gave it 5 stars, so please check out that review because I just want everyone to read all the Frederick Bachman books. This one comes out on the 25th, so keep an eye out for that, but yeah, it is so good. It follows this town in northern Sweden where it's really dark and it's surrounded by woods, and this whole town is centered around hockey and all the people that play hockey and everything like that. The town has been in decline for quite a while, and they think that if the junior ice hockey team from the town does really well and wins nationals, that more people will start moving to the town. It'll help their town start to grow again. But then something awful happens, and then it follows all of the repercussions and the effects of that event happening. So good, a little bit darker than some of his other books, but I loved it. Now I'm going to open my Gear Up for Spring box that I received from Tor. They put so much tape on this. Wow. Okay. So in it is a letter to me that talks about the books that are in the box, and then it has some other information as well, but let's just jump into the books. So the first thing I see is this little gift bag, and I don't know what's in it. This book. So the first thing in here is going to be Roar by Cora Carmack. This is an advanced reading copy. This book comes out in June 2017, so a couple months away. So this one follows a girl named Aurora, and she is the heir to this kingdom, and a long time ago the ungifted pledged fealty to her family because her family was able to repel the world's deadliest foes. But she doesn't have the magic to do that, and so she's worried about being able to continue, you know, protecting her people. Then when she has an arranged marriage, she sneaks out and spies on her fiance and then finds the black market, and then she finds out how to gain magic for herself instead of having to be married to someone that has this magic, and then her journey starts from there. I'll let you guys know what I think when I read it. It almost sounds a little bit like the Kingmaker Kingbreaker duology by Karen, I don't know her last name, but I didn't like that book, so I'm hoping I'll like this one a bit more. So I guess in Roar, there's something to do with storm hearts, and I think that's maybe how they get their magic or whatnot, but those are the different storm hearts and what they mean for the people that have them, I guess. Then there's a poster, which is actually really cool. Bam! Oh! And then it has a huge map, which is awesome. I've always wanted to start printing out maps while reading books that have them, but I always get lazy and never do it. And now I have a map that I can reference while reading the book. And it smells. I can smell something in here, and that's this candle. Maybe it's not. Yeah, it is. It's definitely this candle. And it smells really good. It smells, I don't know how to describe that smell, but it smells good. Oh, I'm like so uninformed. I'm sorry, guys. But this is the first book in the Stormheart series. That's why there are storm hearts, and they're talking about stones. And I think that this is probably going to be one of the stones. No, it's a jar of sand. Firestorm heart powder necklace for protection from storms. So this has something to do with Skyfire, which it says here, the people that have Skyfire are impulsive, captivating, energetic, and independent. So that's pretty cool. The next book in here is going to be Riders by Veronica Rossi. This one has been floating around BookTube for a while now, but it follows a guy named Gideon, and he wakes up after dying, and he finds out that he is now the Horseman of the Apocalypse War, the War one, and then he has to unite with the other 3 Riders of the Apocalypse to try to save the world. But then I guess he fails, and then he has to find a way to save the other Riders and, again, attempt to save the world. I think my brother actually owns this book as well, so maybe I'll read it with him, and we'll have a little bit of a buddy read, and then maybe we'll do a joint book review when we both finish it. And then also in here is the sequel to Riders, which is Seeker, and I'm not going to read the blurb for this one because obviously I don't want to be spoiled for Riders, but now I have both of these and I'll be able to review them individually when I make my way through them both. They sent me a big list and these are the ones that I was the most interested in, but since then I've forgotten what all of them are about, so I have to read all the blurbs. The next book in here is going to be The Guns Above by Robin Bennis. Follows a girl named Josette, and she becomes the first female airship captain, and her crew is not very excited about her being the captain because they don't trust her experience and her expertise at being a captain and being able to run an airship properly. Lord Burnett gets assigned to the ship to catalog everything that she does and to write down all of her faults. Then their enemy makes a very unprecedented move, and she has to try to figure out how to combat that, and then Lord Burnett is there to write down everything that she's doing. I am hopefully going to be reading this one soon. This one comes out in May 2017, so if you like the sound of it, check it out. I will leave links down in the description to where you can find all of these books on Goodreads. There's also a couple of candy bars in here. There's Rocky Road, handmade milk chocolate coated marshmallow with cashews, and also Abba Zaba, which I've never had either of these, so maybe I'll try them and see if I like them or not. They also sent me the Gear Up for Spring tour sticker, much like the Winter is Coming sticker. This cover is so cheesy. Next is Slaves of the Switchboard of Doom, a novel of Retropolis, written and illustrated by Bradley W. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm a big fan of funny science fiction and fantasy, so when I found out that this says, "This hilarious, beautifully illustrated adventure by writer and artist, Bradley is utterly unlike anything else in science fiction, a gonzo, totally bonkers, gut-busting look at the world of tomorrow." I'm not quite sure what it exactly is about, but it says that if Metropolis somehow mated with Futurama, their mutant offspring might well be slaves of the Switchboard of Doom. So I'm excited for it because I love funny fiction. This one comes out in June of 2017. Then they sent this styrofoam box that says Slaves of the Switchboard of Doom on the top of it. Where did that come from? I just got a comment. Thanks, Amber Eats Books. You're awesome. I'm not sure what this is. I'm gonna find out though when I find my scissors. What is this? It says it comes out in June, but on the top of this it says on sale in March. So I'm not sure when the release date is. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be in June though. So in it, oh, that's cool. It's a coffee mug with a bunch of candy inside. Mary Jane's, Boba Bats. That's awesome. And then it says, "Ask me about my death rays" on the front. That's really cool, thank you. There's also a Sky Bar in here, which I have never had that either. There's 4 flavors in milk chocolate. Awesome. Then there's this ad about the 5th book that's in Marie Brennan's Lady Trent series. I have the first book, which I have not read yet, which is A Natural History of Dragons. I heard that it's light on the dragons, more on Lady Trent's life and how she interacts with people during the age of women not really being respected in scientific fields. But I really need to get onto this series and read it because I've been interested in it for a long time and I don't know what is stopping me from reading it. So I will be doing that soon too. And the last 2 books in the Gear Up for Spring tour box are going to be from Tor.com, which is affiliated with Tor but not technically Tor. And that is going to be Buffalo Soldier by Maurice Broadus. This one's about a guy named Desmond Coke, and he is living in Jamaica, and everyone is trying to find this boy and control him, this boy named Lidge Tafari. Desmond decides that Lidge Tafari gets to decide his own fate and finds him, and then is trying to maneuver through Jamaica and try to guarantee Lidge's freedom. It says, assassins, intrigue, and steam men stand between Desmond and Lidge as they search for a place to call home in a North America that could have been. It seems like it's gonna be a fantasy alternative history, which I'm all about that. So I'll let you guys know when I read this one as well. And the last book in my Gear Up for Spring box I got from Tor is going to be Proof of Concept by Gwyneth Jones. So this one is about a future Earth where the Earth is no longer going to be able to be inhabited for much longer. And people that are really big into science have been proposing different things to be able to fix that situation or to survive that situation. And one such solution is the needle, and the needle is where all of these crazy science theories are being tested, and you know, they're trying to figure out a way to survive. The main character is Kerr, but she has an artificial intelligence that was implanted into her. The artificial intelligence's name is Altair, and so Altair and has to try to figure out how to convince Kerr that the world is actually ending because humans have been programmed to ignore future dangers, and so she doesn't really believe that the Earth is coming to an end, and they need to figure out a way for themselves to survive and to not be taken advantage of and everything like that. So I'll be reading this one soon, and I'll let you guys know what I think when I read it. And the last thing in this book haul is going to be this package, which is also from Tor, but one of the publicists at Tor contacted me and asked me if I was interested in reading this book and participating in the promotion for it, and I said yes because I'm a big fan of her YA series. So I decided that I wanted to give her foray into Tor science fiction fantasy a shot. I know she's written a huge series that's vastly popular, but it is romance heavy, and I'm not a huge fan of romance, and I think that this one's not going to be as romance heavy. So let's open it and see. Tor, you guys use so much tape on your packages. So the book that they sent me is an arc of Deadmen Walking by Sherrilyn Kenyon. This is the first book in her new spin-off series called Deadman's Cross. This is a historical fantasy that follows this guy named Devil Bane. Devil is D-E-V-Y-L, not D-E-V-I-L. And he's an ancient dark warlord, and he comes back to life as one of the most notorious pirates around. He makes a pact with this immortal entity named Thorn, who is in her Dark Hunters series, as well as I think he makes appearances in the Chronicles of Nick series, which I enjoy. And he has to take a crew of dead men and try to stop this evil woman from negatively affecting the world and basically killing all of humanity. But the catch is that the ship that he is on, which is called the Sea Witch, is not actually just a ship. The ship is actually a woman who was turned into a ship. Devil Bane has history with this woman. He betrayed her and then she betrayed him, and she's actually the sister of the woman that they're trying to stop. Her actual name is Marcelina. She has to decide to either be loyal to her sister and watch humanity get destroyed and the earth be changed forever, or to side with Bane and betray her sister and trust someone that has betrayed her before. It seems like it'll have a little bit of romance, but I'm hoping it's not too romance heavy, and I hope it focuses a little bit more on the task of trying to track down this evil woman and trying to stop her. We'll see. I'll let you guys know what I think when I read it, which hopefully should be soon. Soon. This one comes out in May, but they also sent me this treasure chest in the box as well. I don't know what's in it. Oh wow, so you open it and it looks like there's some pirate treasure in here. There's an eye patch. There's some necklaces and some gems. There is some Dark Hunter cards, and that's the main character, Devil Bane. To destroy evil of this magnitude, you don't send out choir boys unless you want to feed your enemies lunch. And there is, I don't know what this is. Let's open it and see what it is. So it looks like a lanyard, which is for the Deadman's Cross series, a sticker that says "Bite Me," and that's for the Dark Hunter series, a button that's for the Deadman's Cross series, and this little pin that has a cross on it that says Deadman's Cross. There's also a skull in the treasure box and just a bunch of coins and such. So that's really cool. And one other thing with this book is if you pre-order it, then you get a free signed print by Sherrilyn Kenyon as well. I'll leave a link down in the description where you can find all the information on that promotion and everything like that. So if you find this book at all interesting, definitely pre-order it and get yourself a signed print. Alright, so different day, but I put on the same shirt. I don't know why, because I just told you that it's a different day. There are a couple more things that ended up coming in. First off, when Tor sent me Deadmen Walking by Sherrilyn Kenyon, if you pre-order it, you get a signed print. Well, Tor decided to send me the print so I could show you guys, which is so cool. It comes very well packaged. It came in an envelope, and then it was in this, and then there's another envelope, and it's inside that one. And indeed, it is signed and beauteous. So there you go. That would be the print that you get when you pre-order your copy of Deadmen Walking. Next, I was in Costco and I remembered that I've been wanting to collect all of the Shel Silverstein books because I only own The Giving Tree. I feel like Shel Silverstein was a big part of my childhood because, I don't know, my teachers always ended up making us read his poems. So I ended up picking up Where the Sidewalk Ends, which has some personal history with me. When I was in kindergarten, I think I had to read a poem, and I ended up having to read Love, which I'm not sure where it is, but it was like one of the shortest poems because I had to memorize it. Love. Ricky was L, but he's home with the flu. Lizzie R.O. had some homework to do. Michelle E probably got lost on the way, so I'm all of love that could make it today. And it's just V. I ended up reading that poem and then my parents gave me a little bear statue that says love on it. Let me go get it. So I've had this little statue that says love on it since I read this poem when I was in kindergarten, so I was 5. So these will be going on the shelf together, and I hope to continue my collection of all of his books and just have them all for when I have kids and when I feel nostalgic in going back and reading them. And the last thing is so freaking exciting. I was contacted by a publicist for the Summoner series by Taryn Mathrew, and she said that they're doing a promotion for the 3rd and final book that's coming out, which is called The Battle Mage, I'm pretty sure. I did a review for the Inquisition when that one was coming out, so I'll leave that up in the card symbol and you can check it out. I gave that book 5 stars. I wasn't as impressed with the first one, but the second one really made up for it for me, and I absolutely loved it. And Torin read those books so fast. Like, he's reread the first one twice now, so he just absolutely loves it. And they offered to send me the 3rd book so that I could read it for you, but it comes in this little promotional box, which is really cool. He can summon demons, but can he win a war? And if you guys don't know, it's about a boy named Fletcher who lives in this mountains town, really, and he is an orphan. He was abandoned outside of the city when he was a baby, and he was taken in by a weapons maker, a blacksmith. At the beginning of the book, he ends up finding out that he's able to summon demons because he reads from this book, and he ends up summoning his demon, which is called Ignatius, and then he has to go on a whirlwind adventure after that, going to a mage school and learning about his different magical abilities. It's just gotten very, very interesting, and the 3rd and final book in the trilogy is coming out, and I am stoked to read it. So let's open up this box. There is going to be a prequel novel that comes out which follows Arcturus, which is Fletcher's like mentor when he was going to school, which there's already a novella that's called Origin that kind of goes over that. I don't know how similar the actual book is going to be to that story, or if it'll cover a different time in Arcturus's school life. I'm excited for that one, but I'm more excited for this one. So when you open it, dang! So the first thing in the box is going to be these buttons. So there's a button of the new cover of the 3rd book, Battle Mage. There is a button of the back of the 1st book. There's one of Fletcher here, and then one of Ignatius, which he's the cutest little salamander ever. The Summoner series has been described as a mix between Lord of the Rings because it has dwarves and elves and humans, as well as orcs, and there's magic and just craziness, as well as Pokemon because the demons that they are able to summon, they're also able to like store them inside of their bodies. They have relationships with their specific demons, how trainers have relationships with their Pokemon, and it is just so good. So in here is a copy of Battle Mage, which is the last book in the trilogy. I am so pumped for this. He looks so intense. I'm not going to read you the blurb because it would spoil things for the first 2 books, but I'm ready. Hi, puppy. Give me a kiss. Oh, thank you. If I had a demon, it would definitely be a Canid, and Nook would be my demon. It's a little bit damaged from how it was packaged with the buttons hitting it constantly till it got to my house, but that's okay. And the book that's coming out, that's the prequel book, is called The Outcast. And then also in here is a paperback copy of The Novice, which I already own the hardcover, but now I've got a paperback to lend to people to force to read it. And then also an arc of the 2nd book, which I already have an arc of the 2nd book, but again, I'll be able to lend these to people to force them to read them. You guys have no idea how pumped I am for this. I decided to participate in the booktube tour that's going along with this book that's being run by Fuel and Friends / Macmillan, and I will be posting my review on the 7th, I believe, so look out for that. This book comes out on May 2nd, so it'll be a week after the book actually comes out, but, you know, just go ahead and get on this train and read this series. So those are all the books that I got in the month of April. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below which books I should prioritize. Which ones do you want me to do reviews on first? Obviously, I'm going to prioritize the BookTube SFF Awards books, but let me know which books from Tor and which other books that I should be reading ASAP and doing reviews for you guys. If you have any recommendations for me, leave those down below, and I will talk to you guys next time.